So, chosen ones, let's not focus on perfection. Let's focus on continuous improvement, being the best that we can be, enjoying things now, being happy now, living now, and not saying, oh, when I have this, I'm going to be happy. When I have that, or once I have this, I can celebrate. Celebrate now. Live now. Because life is so short. And the last thing you want is to find that you wasted your time running after things that were not important. So, chosen ones, let's throw perfection out the window and let's embrace our imperfections.
Hey, chosen ones, how are you guys doing? So today I wanted to talk about perfection. How perfection is not going to help anyone, is nobody's friend, and how we shouldn't strive to be perfect in any area of our life, For me, I've struggled with, perfectionism, because I think back in the day, I used to think I was a perfectionist, and I used to actually think it was a good thing, right? But I didn't realize how much perfection was stopping me from just moving forward in so many areas of my life, because I wanted everything to be just right before I moved on. Not only is it a waste of time, but perfection is not real. So I've got a few quotes here that I wanted to read. So the first one is, perfection is an illusion, and those who seek perfection will find themselves unfulfilled their whole lives. So the point is that perfectionism, it limits you in so many ways, because the time you will spend to get like something perfect, you could have done so many things in that time. It's better that you get something done, say 60, 70, or even 80% right. And, the 20%, it's just a lot of time that will get you to the perfection stage. So a lot of the time you realize that if you are striving for perfection, you want everything to be perfect, you're spending so much time doing one thing, and it's just wasting time, wasting your energy, and it's really not worth it. So definitely, if you are somebody who is trying to be perfect in so many areas of your life, realize that it's going to make you very unfulfilled. As a mother, it's tough sometimes, because you feel like, oh, I should be doing this, I could do this better. But who said, whose rule is it that you have to do certain things in a specific way? You do things the best of your ability, how you can do it, how best you can do it for your family, right? And so another thing is that when it comes to perfection and you're thinking, oh, I have to get something right, to whose standards? Who said you have to get something to such a high standard, and if you don't, you're not good enough or you're not worthy? It's a load of rubbish. All we can do is strive to do our best and do things to the best of our ability, and that is enough. For me, I also think that it may have come from the need to feel whole, the need to feel like I was enough, right? For so long, I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't doing this right. I wasn't doing that right. And so the little bit of control I had was to try and make things as perfect as possible. And that would prove to me that, oh, you've got everything under control. You're doing this well. You're doing that well. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have anything to prove to anyone. Okay. So who cares about perfection? Certainly not me. Okay. So let's move on to the next quote that I found. So the next quote I found was that there is no perfection, only beautiful versions of brokenness. Okay. Now, we are all broken. We all have issues. We all have things that we're battling, right? That is the beauty of life. And I say the beauty of life because it's the way we learn things, it's the way we grow, it's the way we can contrast and compare. If things were good all the time, then how would we know what bad is? How can I put it? If things were good all the time, right, then there wouldn't be anything to compare to it. We wouldn't know the highs and the lows. So when things are bad, we now are able to compare them with the good and appreciate the good as well. And so really, being broken, it's not a bad thing. We are all broken in some way or the other. We all have some areas of our life that we need to work on. And that is fine. And that is beautiful, right? They say beauty is an eye of the beholder. Somebody might look at someone else and say, oh my goodness, that's the most beautiful person I've ever seen in the world. And another person may look at it and say, oh, well, I'm not attracted to them, right? Because we are all different. But that's what makes the world. So we have to embrace our brokenness, embrace our imperfections, and just admire them, appreciate them, and love them. I'm sure every single one of us has a part of our bodies that we're like, oh, I wish it was like this, or I wish it looked like this, I wish it could be better. But actually what we should be doing is saying, well, this is what God gave me. So I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it so much that even if somebody else says, oh, it's not beautiful, whatever, it doesn't really bother me because I know it's beautiful, right? So that's what we need to strive for. We need to embrace our imperfections and love them, okay? Let's move on to the next quote. The next quote said, perfection is God's business. We are human. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. God is perfection, okay? He created this whole world and universe perfectly. Everything is being held up perfectly. You know, all the trees, the plants they have this perfect cycle. All the animals, everything is just perfection, okay? This world is perfection. Like if there was like I read like there's so many galaxies and so many so okay, let's just leave it at galaxies. There's so many galaxies, and within those galaxies, there's so many different planets, and it's just vast. And we are just tiny, tiny compared to what is out there. Okay, and and like even the way the planets are sustained, are held, it's through perfection. If something was to change by like just tiny bit, literally everything would collapse. So we know our God is perfect. We are not perfect. So let's leave perfection to him. He's made everything perfect for us. This world, well, not this world, but you know what I mean. Nature, how everything works. And we should leave it to him, right? It's not our duty. It's not our concern. We are humans and we are imperfect. And that's why we are here to learn, to experience in our imperfections. Okay. And so, yes, so that's that quote. So the next quote is perfection is boring. Getting better is where all the fun is. I tell you, like how exciting is it to learn something new every day? For you to somebody to tell you something, you're like, oh, I never knew that. That's so interesting. How is it so exciting to just experience new things, go to new places, taste new foods? That's where things are exciting. Okay. Getting better as people, constantly working on ourselves, improving, knowing areas that we need to get better at. That is beautiful, all right? And that is where all the fun is. We are here to expand, to grow, to change, to develop, to evolve. And if we're not doing that, then what are we doing, right? Nobody wants perfection. Nobody. People strive for perfection because I think it's a good thing, but actually I realized it's not. And there's no such thing as perfection anyway. Okay, next quote. There is no way to genuinely, powerfully, truly love yourself while crafting a mask of perfection. And I think for me, that is really true. Like me striving when I was like, I would say back in the day, when I was striving for perfection, it was a mask. It was almost like me not trying to crack or me not trying to show that there were levels of me that needed growth, that needed development, that needed healing. Okay, so striving for perfection was my way of kind of like trying to control things. And I realized that there's no need for it. Like I love myself in my imperfection. I love how things are in its imperfection. And we continually want to move forward, want to grow. And so let's embrace our imperfection and know that if we are striving for perfection, then it's a mask that we're trying to put on. Who are we trying to impress? Who are we trying to prove ourselves to? I hope nobody, because we don't need to, right? The only person that we should be trying to impress is God. Is trying to impress Jesus Christ so that we know that we are doing what we're supposed to do whilst we're here. But other than that, everything else is material. It's not important, you know? So let's just embrace our imperfections. And my last quote is that it's not about perfection. It says here, strive for continuous improvement. One of my favorite words in the world is a word called kaizen, and it's a Japanese word, and it actually stands for continuous improvement. And that's what we need to be doing, focusing on continuous improvement, not on perfection. So it says here, strive for continuous improvement instead of perfection. Continuous improvement just shows that we are constantly trying to improve ourselves, right? It's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. So chosen ones, let's not focus on perfection. Let's focus on continuous improvement, being the best that we can be, enjoying things now, being happy now, living now, and not saying, oh, when I have this, I'm going to be happy. When I have that, Or once I have this, I can celebrate. Celebrate now. Live now. Because life is so short. And the last thing you want is to find that you've wasted your time running after things that were not important. So chosen ones, let's throw perfection out the window and let's embrace our imperfections. So my name is Anita. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I know that I think you guys are perfect in your imperfections. And if there's something that you know as a chosen one that you need to be doing, please don't sit on it. Get onto it now. Start now. Do it now. I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Have an amazing rest of your evening, your morning, your afternoon, and see you tomorrow. Bye.